They will say I have shed innocent blood. What is blood for, if not for shedding? What's up, everybody? Welcome to PCP Movie Night. I'm your host for tonight's festivities, Rockin' Robbie Bills, and it is a very special night because we are here at the beginning, the start of Horrorfest 2025. You know, here on PCP Movie Night, where we gather every Monday night and talk about the movie of the week. Something old school, maybe something new, maybe a franchise or two. And tonight we're kicking off Horrorfest. And you know, as much as I love PCP Movie Night, I live for Horrorfest. 2.5 months across 4 channels of nothing but horror movie reviews. Now, 2 of those channels do nothing but horror movie reviews. We don't need to get into that. Anyway, lots of movies, all coordinated. We are delivering to you. It's the kickoff, the commencement, if you will, of Horrorfest 2025. And we always like to start with a horror franchise here at PCP. And tonight we're talking about Candyman, in honor of the late, great Tony Todd, who we lost way too soon. We're going to be talking about Candyman, Candyman Farewell to the Flesh, Candyman Day of the Dead, and Candyman. I hate it when they do the requel with the exact same name. Anyway, all Candyman tonight. We're going to be talking about all 4 films, and we got a great panel to kick off Horrorfest. So, y'all, it's the most wonderful time of the fucking year, y'all. Pop, pop, boo. Let's get into it. Joining us tonight, Jelani from Go Figure Reviews. What's up, homie?
Be my victim.
Yes. Dude, you got a great Tony Todd, man.
I try. Yeah, man. Station, glad to be here. What a wild freaking franchise. Cannot believe we're doing this one. I guess it is Horrorfest, so it was inevitable.
Yeah, so, we got to do all the big franchises. And what's cool is, like, we've done Friday the 13th. We've done Halloween. We've done Nightmare on Elm Street. We've done Hellraiser. We've done Texas Chainsaw Massacre. We're talking about franchises that are like 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 movies long. Mm-hmm. Candyman's just 4. It's in and out, right? But I would dare to say there should be more Candyman movies. There really should, man, right?
Honestly, as long as they don't follow the same structure for some of these, yes, I agree.
Wait, are you telling me that maybe 3 out of 4 of these films do the exact same structure for their movie? It's the same movie. Maybe. All right. We also got joining us my man Verno from Blood Splatter Chatter, who's also joining us for Horrorfest. What's up, my homie?
I heard you was looking for Candyman, bitch.
Boom! That's right.
Stoked to be here.
You hear like 5 fucking dudes say that back to back. That's like the best bit of the whole movie, man. I love that shit.
What up, man? This I realized while going through this. I don't know if I did see 2 and 3. I do not remember them at all. So this felt like a first time watch for 50% of these movies. So stoked to be here. Horrorfest, baby. Let's do it.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. We also got with us, because we can't just have one black man on the panel to talk about Candyman. It's Missing Link. What's up, homie? How you doing?
What's going on, fellas? Happy to be here. And you made a great point, Robbie. This is what, even though a good portion of these films might not live up to the first, the covering 4 is way easier than covering like 6, 7 bullshit films like Terminator or
Texas Chainsaw.
Yeah, Texas Chainsaw might be the roughest franchise review we've done, but y'all just wait. The Howling is coming. So, like, I've already told everybody, it's like one day it's going to be like Slim Pickens. We're just going to be doing Howling and Children of the fucking Corn.
Oh, God.
All that shit. We've already done Paranormal Activity. I can't believe we did that before we did fucking Candyman. That's just because my dumbass bought the fucking Blu-ray box set. Also joining with us, has some video issues, but he's here with us in spirit and in audio. It's Brooks the Shroom Master. What's up, homie?
Oh, I'm the Candyman. I'm on the other side of the mirror.
I'm scared.
All right, I want to test out this little background. Looks fine. That's a go-to we usually like. What's that one look like? That one's all right. Which one y'all like better? A, B, or C?
I like B.
B works.
I'm feeling C, but I could go with B as well.
I kind of like C too. Then Robbie shit out, and I'm like, well, maybe I don't want to.
Well, that's C right there, right?
Terrible.
No, it's good.
Moonlight. It looks like the moonlight with
The
the back.
jack-o'-lanterns in B are like that you can see everything. This
Yep.
is like, yeah. The other one is
Yeah.
like it's spooky, but
She's a bit distracting.
Which one? This one?
C, he said.
Yeah, see.
C is this
Popped a
one.
little bit more.
You like C? Wait, what the fuck are we doing, y'all? What about the audience? What do y'all like?
we were supposed to be
See,
like
I
talking
think-
about Candyman. This is like backstage shit.
I know. I'm trying to figure this out. I didn't figure this out backstage. We were trying to figure out Brooks's video issue. All right. We're just going to say A is the best one, says Eddie. So I'll go. All right. We'll just go with this. All right. What's up, everybody? Act like we just started. How's everybody doing? We're going to be talking about the Candyman franchise tonight. Very excited. The first movie is 1992. The last movie was 2021. It's Horrorfest. Y'all, I'm so fucking excited. This is like what I live for. I don't know why. I think eventually I may just quit and just do Horrorfest all year round. Like just start a channel doing Horrorfest, right? Nonstop, right? I'll do what Verno does.
That's what we do. It's exactly what we do. And Dylan.
Yeah, and Dylan. But, you know, we have fun doing what we're doing. All right, so let's get into it. We're going to first start with Candyman, the original 1992, based on the Clive Barker short story from the Books of Blood, The Forbidden, which is set in the United Kingdom and is less about racial issues and more about class issues, right? However, Bernard Rose, one would say Bernard Rose, but he calls himself Bernard. So Bernard Rose was the writer and director of this movie. He took the Clive Barker story. He set it in Chicago at Cabrini Green, which I'm sure we'll be talking about this, but at the time that this movie was made, it was one of the most dangerous projects and gang run environments in the United States of America. It was a big deal, and they filmed there, and the story is set there. And so it's about urban legends, but at the same time, this movie has this connotation about race, right? About the treatment of Black Americans throughout history, whether it's the Candyman himself, who is a free man. That's a very important thing, I believe, in the story, is that he's a free man who's a brilliant painter. He winds up painting a beautiful blonde woman for a rich guy in Chicago, falls in love with this woman. She falls in love with him. They have a baby together. And while she's pregnant, it gets found out. And of course, the Candyman, Daniel Robitaille, what's his name? Right? They established that in part 2, 3, and even in the fourth film, right? The Jordan Peele produced one, Nia DaCosta, right? On the directing there. Anyway, we'll get to that one. But so he winds up getting killed in a very elaborate fashion. He gets his hand cut off, a hook put in there. Why the fuck did they even bother putting a hook for his hand?
Yeah.
I don't fucking know. Some of that doesn't make sense.
Why call him Candyman?
I think my girlfriend asked me that the other day. She was like, why would they even put a hook in his hand?
Because it
And I'm
looks
like,
cool.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Anyway, they smother him with honeycombs from a beehive near them. The bees come, kill him, then they burn him, all this stuff. Now he's become this vengeful spirit, but it's also tied into urban legends. Bloody Mary, right? Calling Bloody Mary in the mirror, or the hook hand incident. We all believed that happened in our own town at some point because we all heard the story about the hook-handed serial killer, which, of course, I Know What You Did Last Summer plays with as well. But Candyman, let's talk about this movie, right? It stars Virginia Madsen, Tony Todd, Xander Berkeley, and Cassie Lemons. Cinematography by Anthony B. Richmond. Music by Philip Glass. And, of course, it was distributed by TriStar Pictures. It came out September 11th, 1992, but fully released on October 16th, 1992. And it has a budget of $8 to $9 million. It made $25.8 million. It was rather a success. And I remember this film when I was a kid. I remember it vividly because this was a constant rental. My mom loved this movie. I loved this movie. And I remember very early in my life playing around with the Bloody Mary legend right? And Candyman fit right into that. Now, I was 12 years old when this movie came out, or like 11. I was like 11 years old when this movie came out. So I was probably 12 when I watched it. At that point, I know that I'm watching movies. I'm not scared by these things anymore. Not really. You know what I'm saying? But my younger siblings, because I'm the oldest of 6, my younger siblings were very scared of this movie. They were scared of fucking Leprechaun. You know what I'm saying? So, of course, they were scared by this movie. And my mom used to use Candyman kind of like, you know, parents would be like, I'm going to tell Santa that you're acting naughty right now. My mom would be like, I'm going to call Candyman. They would shut the fuck up. They would sit still. Like she used Candyman as like a parental tool in a way. And it really worked. And it's kind of fucked up, but it's kind of funny at the same time. But that was my mother. But I loved Candyman as a kid. And I've loved it every time I've watched it as an adult. On the rewatch, the movie is amazing. The performances, man. Tony Todd, right? Like, you talk about the Universal monsters, how iconic they are. But then it's crazy to think that the only character that was played by one actor the entire time was Lon Chaney Jr.'s Wolfman, right? When you think of Michael Myers, Jason, Freddy, Pinhead, even Doug Bradley got replaced as Pinhead. Even somebody else has played Freddy Krueger. Not really, I would say, has anybody else played Candyman. Even in the 4th film, which we'll get to, the Candyman we know, the Daniel Robitaille?
Robitaille.
The Daniel Robitaille. I mean, that is always Tony Todd. And unfortunately, we lost him recently. My saddest memory about that is that he was booked for the Huntsville Comic and Pop Culture Expo, the same year that Felissa Rose was there. And my buddy Jeremy, who runs the show, gets me to do a lot of panels. And he goes, hey, man, I know you're the big horror guy. Will you do Felissa and Tony's panels? And I was like, yes. So I was going to do Tony Todd's panel, and he had to cancel like a month before, right? And then, unfortunately, we found out he was it cancer? Was that what he was dealing with or something like that?
Pretty sure. Know? Just from seeing him in Final Destination Bloodlines, that's what it looked like to me. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, one of his last performances, the last movie release that he's in. But Tony Todd is brilliant in this role. And there have been a lot of black victims in slasher films, but there hasn't really been a black slasher until Candyman. And this movie does incorporate a lot about like just gothic horror and cerebral ghost stories. Phantom of the Opera. A lot of The Mummy is in this movie to me. Talk about Imhotep and Enoxanuan, right? Like it's the same story almost, right? Even to the point where in some of the sequels, I swear to God, he's trying to fuck his goddamn descendants, man. And I'm just like, I don't know how I feel about this Candyman. I don't know. But I love the first one. It's absolutely brilliant. And Tony Todd to enter this world with Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees, Freddy Krueger, Pinhead, Leatherface, hell, Dracula, Frankenstein's monster, the Wolfman. Tony Todd, when in one movie, stands amongst the Mount Rushmores of horror monsters in cinema. 100%. His performance is iconic. Virginia Madsen is amazing in this movie. Hell, even the fucking deadbeat, stupid-ass stepdad who gets killed through the gallon of milk in Terminator 2, who is the adulterous husband in this film, delivers a great performance. Even the fucking shitty-ass academic guy with the ponytail who winds up getting got in the very beginning of Candyman 2, he's great in this movie. Great performances. I really love it. Philip Glass's music, y'all, that is fucking one of the best horror movie scores of all time. When I think of 90s horror movie franchises, I think of 3 things. I think of Candyman, Scream, and Leprechaun. And at one point, they toyed around with doing a Leprechaun versus Candyman movie. And Tony Todd said, fuck that bullshit. No way I'm going to do that. Also, Clive wanted to do Pinhead versus Candyman. Kind of wish we would have got that movie.
Yeah, that would have been a good one.
That would have been
such an iconic character. It is a shame we didn't get more Candyman movies. As shitty as they may have been, I think the shittiest Candyman movie might be one of my favorites. We'll get to that. But I love the first Candyman. I loved it then. I loved it now. I think it's brilliant. I'm going to give it 4.5 You digs. What about you, Jelani? Candyman 1, what do you think about it? What's your history? What do you rate it? You out there in the chat? Join the conversation.
Now, with Candyman, I didn't watch this movie first. It's one of the weird ones because I watched when I was a kid, and this was like me in middle school going towards high school situation. I was afraid of horror movies. Like at this point in time in my life, I didn't touch them, especially this one. Because I ain't saying nothing in no mirror that I'm prompted to say where something comes out and kills me. I'm not gonna watch the videotape from The Ring. I'm not gonna say Bloody Mary in a mirror. I don't go to the woods. I don't go hiking. I don't go to Texas for any reason. There rules, man. You don't do stuff. You don't go to the boat party, when there's ghosts on the ship or some shit. You don't do it. You don't do haunted mansions. You don't do that stuff. And I don't say Candyman 5 times in a mirror because you're asking for it. Every one of these dumbass movies, there's a dumbass person that says those dumbass 5 things. It irritates me.
Jelani's such a fan. He doesn't even say Helen in the fucking mirror, man.
No, I don't say Helen. Fuck that. This movie is great. Now, because I watched it later, I watched Candyman 2 first with some high school kids. We were in a play together, and they were like, let's go watch Candyman. And we know a guy who can get us in the theater because it was rated R, and we were, under 6 or 17 or whatever the crap it was. So we couldn't watch it. So we ended up watching it. And I'm going to talk about that one in a minute, but because of that movie, it took me like 2 or 3 years later to watch the original Candyman on VHS. When I saw it, I was like, damn, this is way better. Candyman is great. It tells a brilliant story of Cabrini Green and these all these things. At the same time, it does the beautiful thing of telling racial strife and tension in such a way on both ends. It comes from the worst project in the world, and then at the same time you get this injustice that's done to this man and all the things that he's basically lives in myth, kills thing. He doesn't even show up till like midway through the movie. That's how good this is. Helen, played by Virginia Madsen, is fantastic in this film. She is one of the, I feel sorry for Helen. I like her character. It makes her, I don't know, she didn't really do anything wrong. You know what I'm saying? Other than saying those stupid ass words in the mirror. I'm not going to play into the myth. If there's a myth of something like Slender Man or something, I don't even know what the Slender Man thing is, but I ain't going to go do it. I ain't going to the woods and say Slender Man and then wait for Slender Man to show up. Fuck that. So the fact she did it kind of astounds me. But I love the horror. The scariest scene in this movie, which always takes me back, is Candyman's always talking to her. When he talks to her, some horrible shit happens immediately following. Except for the first time where he's just like, come be my victim.
Do you know what's crazy? Did you know that Virginia Madsen was under hypnosis every time that she was talking to Candyman? Like literally,
yes.
Like they were putting her under hypnosis. And that's why she looked so like
she was doing the things.
Yeah.
I think she was doing the things because Candyman was doing that to her. And people just thought it was her at that point. And she's like making snow angels, like they said in the second movie, but she wasn't. She was just laying in the puddle of dog blood. And that scene still bothers me. I don't know why.
That's another great performance. Is the mother of Anthony,
the mother
Vanessa D. Williams? Is that who that is?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
She's amazing. She's amazing in part 4.
She's a fucking vampire too. We'll get to that.
She is.
Like in real life, how does she not age 30 some years?
She tore her hair out in that scene. She's screaming, and you think. And at first, when I first saw this movie years before, I thought she killed a baby. I was like, oh my God, she killed a baby and a dog. Oh my God. That scene still messed with me this time. I don't know what it is about that scene. It always bothers me.
It's too real, man. The performance of the
real.
mother is like it's just too real, man. It's just so sad, dude.
It's sad. It's like she lost her child, and you're seeing it in real time, and it hurts you. It's very visceral.
Plus, like Helen's stupid as shit, dude. She picks up the goddamn meat cleaver and walks into the goddamn holding it up like, what's going on here?
Like, what the hell's happening? Like, what the hell is wrong with you, girl? You know, so yeah, she does a lot of dumb shit in this movie. There's too much to say about this film.
I know.
There's so many things, like so many aspects I want to go into more in depth, but there's other movies. So I will say this. This movie, I believe, in my opinion, is the best of all of them. I appreciate it.
What a crazy concept.
Who the hell knew that the first movie was going to do it? The score is damn. Oh,
so good. Only done with a piano and like an organ and like fucking some choirs, right?
Jeez.
Like it's amazing. It's so simple. And Philip Glass didn't do a lot of movie scores at this time, right? And he actually wrote all the music and gave it to him without seeing a bit of footage.
Wow.
That's
so
crazy.
they're the ones that put it into the movie.
It's
right?
put in so well too.
So good.
When Helen is climbing into the bonfire pile and they're playing that music before she goes in it, it's like, oh, it's coming. It's her death. It's so haunting. There's scenes in this movie that freak me out still. Like, I needed to watch it a second time, but I was like, this movie always scared me. I never really felt proper watching when I watched this film. So all in all, it's a beautiful film. I will give it I'm gonna give it a 4. It's not quite there too. It still has its flaws, as we'll soon get into the other movies. It turns into a copy of itself, but you can see it in the beginning that it's going to copy. Like, if they were going to make a sequel, they were going to copy it. They're pretty much going to copy this film, like page for page. And I feel bad for Helen. I'll never say her name in a mirror. That's it.
All right. A 4 from Jelani, a 4.5 from me. And Jelani, I my initial thoughts were this movie is a 4, right? But like, it's Horrorfest.
It's Horrorfest.
As much as I've been talking about like trying to be like more on cue with my ratings, I'm definitely doing the 0.5 bump for Horrorfest. And it's definitely something that's inherent in my character. So 4.5 from me, a 4 from Jelani. What about you, Verno? We covered this movie on your channel. We had a great conversation, and we need to cover it again solely, just a whole show on this one movie. Because like Jelani said, there's a lot to unpack. Definitely. And you can't even do it in just one show. So what do you think about it on the rewatch? What's your history? What do you rate it?
I love the shit out of the movie. I'm looking at introspect down there. I feel where you're coming from a little bit, brother. He's not a huge fan. He's got issues with it. For me, just like I think all of us are of the age that Candyman was super scary when I was a kid. It was Pennywise and Candyman at that era that scared the living shit out of me, but probably more so Candyman than anything. Elevated is a dirty word to throw around when it comes to horror movies, but there's not a lot of elevated slasher films. And this is definitely one of those. This is great acting, great camera work, thematically rich, one of the best scores in horror movie history. I got just to echo that. So good. Tony Todd's so great. So many things that you guys said I agree with. I said this when we did my show. And I think something that's so cool about Candyman is first of all, is this a slasher movie? And it's like, yeah, I mean, it definitely is. But like, we're doing this whole evolution of the slasher thing over on Blood Splatter Chatter, and like where we're at in the 70s and like where the slasher went from there to 1992 is just insane. Yeah. And I think there's still like glimpses of it. Like, you can look at Candyman's outfit and there's a touch of blood and black lace, Jalo killer trench coat looking, like you can see the evolution of it. But one thing that's so cool about it's not just a slasher movie. People have mentioned in the chat, and we've mentioned, like, it's definitely a ghost story, just as much so. It's a folk horror story to a degree.
It's a
You've got
gothic romance. In a way.
Totally.
Yeah.
You've got this person going to this place that they're not supposed to go to, and people tell them don't go there. So that's the whole folk horror element. And then this is something I've actually heard someone say, and I loved it, so I'm going to repeat it. Is that Candyman himself is kind of like a vampire too, where he's very seductive. He's the sexiest slasher of all time. And then there's a thing that him and vampires and Pinhead, also created by Clive Barker, have in common, where you have to invite him in. You know what I mean? And that is something that's like really cool to me. Just the idea that you've got to invite him in.
You seek it out, man.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
You seek your death.
Which is so fucking cool. And as elevated as it is, and like the score gives it like this, like in my mind, it's classy. Like the way that it's shot, like there's this element of class to it. And it's so good. It's so good in that regard. But then, like we've touched on, with the kill that Jelani already mentioned, is so nasty. Just blood in a baby crib. Aside from the Rottweiler head cut off, blood in a baby crib is crazy. Doing snow angels in the blood.
Yeah.
Okay, that didn't actually happen. Well, they talked about it in part 4. But then also, like they don't show it, but they kind of do. What's implied that happened to the kid getting his wiener cut off in the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
Her friend Bernadette's corpse is what it's so gray and gnarly looking. It's one of the fucking most disgusting.
She looked like a zombie from Dawn of the Dead, doesn't she?
It's so insane. It's so insane. I live about an hour outside of Chicago. So for it to be set in Chicago has always been super cool to me. There were at one point, they mentioned it's either in this one or it's in part 4. But they're like, we'll just keep moving them around. They're going to move them out of here. And I mentioned this when we did our show. At one point, I live in a small town, like I said, about an hour from Chicago. Oprah was going to move everybody from Cabrini Green to my town. So they were going to push them all the way out of the city, all the way down here. So I've always thought that was cool. Like there's, you know what I mean? I have like more of a connection to it just because of that. But the other aspect that half the time when I watch this movie, I forget about it, is the part where they're framing Helen. I love that. I love just like the idea. One of my biggest fears is like, I'm saying something and you guys don't believe me. And it's the truth. I'm like, I swear to God, like it's for real. I didn't do it. And like, there's something just like, I don't know, fear inducing about the idea of people not believing you, being framed for murder. And like, it's like a gaslighting thing. She's being made to feel crazy. And I wrote down here, Invisible Man. I think the Invisible Man 2020 has a lot of Candyman in it
does.
when it comes to that. They're so similar in that regard. They took a lot of aspects from it. But I mean, I guess that's what I love the bees. Oh, Jelani, I'm glad you asked this earlier. You're like, why the fuck is he Candyman? And I was sitting there, I'm like, yeah, why is he Candyman? Like, what is that? And then like I thought about it, like, well, maybe this is why I'm looking into it. Apparently, from what the internet says, it is like the fact that they smothered him in honey, he's a candy man. He's like a piece of fucking candy after that.
Yeah, don't you remember part 2? They all started shouting, Candyman.
I never thought of it that way.
It also ties into the urban legend because it's in all of these movies as well of the razor blades in the Halloween candy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is cool. I mean, that's one thing I love later on when they involve candy a little bit more. But I don't think I don't remember seeing 2, and I don't remember seeing 3. So like, I just went my whole life being like, no, he's Candyman, and not really knowing why. And it's even more disturbing when you know, like, oh, like picture he's a candy person. Like it's so fucked up. It's so cool. And like we've kind of mentioned, like there was no other before this and fucking after it, really, like a black slasher killer horror icon. Like, who are the other black horror icons outside of
Blackula?
The Blackula, that's true, or the dude from
the enchilada guy from Friday Part 5.
But Night of the Living Dead.
Enchiladas.
Ben from Night of the Living Dead,
which Tony Jones,
Todd,
right?
Which Tony Todd played in the remake. But
Yeah.
I love it, dude. I was tempted to give it like a fucking 5. I gave it a 4.5 when we covered it. It does have its issues. I think it can be a little slow at times, and I never loved the ending. There's a touch of a white savior going on. There's a touch of that for sure. So I will give it a 4.5. But it's a classic, one of the greatest slashers of all time.
A 4.5. I love that we're talking about all these genre, like these horror subgenres that it's kind of blending together and these influences. I love that you were talking about there is a Dracula vampire kind of idea behind it. And Tony Todd himself says, I played it like Phantom of the Opera. Yeah. You can see that there, right? But man, to me, like I was like, why is nobody talking about the Mummy? Like literally, he says the exact same line that Boris Karloff says in that movie. Death is only the beginning.
Really?
It's the whole end. Like, die with me now and we'll live forever. Right? Like, there's so much Mummy in this movie. And it's cool in this one because, you know, it's a thing, but it gets creepy in the sequels because you're like, bro, this is your like great granddaughter, bro.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't care how hot she is.
Are you trying to fuck her? Like, I know she was on Baywatch, but like, what's going on there, man? What about you, Link? What do you think about Candyman? What's your history? What do you rate it?
I my history with it, I pretty sure I've seen the first two were the ones I've seen the most, but I feel like I've seen the second one upon rewatch. I hadn't seen the second one in a while, but upon rewatching it, the second one, it was like where I got all the lore from in my, you know, my head canon. So I was like, oh, I've seen the second one quite a few times then. But you know, I hadn't seen I don't feel like I've seen the third one, and I'm glad I didn't. We'll get to that. But the first one is a great movie all around. It's iconic for many reasons. It's, you know, it's hard to pull off gothic romance to begin with, and that, you know, horror films in general had a lot working against them in the 90s, and the fact that they were able to pull off something that still resonates to this day. Tony Todd, you know, it's that, like Jelani said earlier, he didn't come into the film until about halfway. 45 minutes is like when he makes his first real appearance. And he, you know, the movie's only about an hour 45. So he's only really got an hour to play with. And within that hour, he's crafts an iconic performance, you know. So the first one, it's interesting, the parallels between the first and the fourth one. We'll get to that, but it is a horror movie that has something to say. It's not just it is a slasher, but it's also got heavy thematics that resonate within American culture.
It's social commentary.
It's, you know, so yes. Upon this rewatch, I just really appreciated it a lot more, you know, especially like, you know, I'm learning more about the 90s and how the 90s really, really try to suffocate like the horror genre. So it's like the fact that this movie was able to come out in that era and still be iconic. I find that there's something to that. So I'm going to give this one a 4.5.
Hell yeah, man. Love it. You know, I love that the movie does feel very insanely relevant and almost ahead of its time, right? Back then.
Yes.
One thing that was cut out, that scene where they're spinning around and all that shit, right? Dizzying scene. She tells, that scene's supposed to go on longer. She says, I love you.
Wow.
And they made them cut that out because they were like, this is too much. Even in 1992, they were like, this is too much for the interracial stuff, right?
Yeah.
And it's crazy because, but then again, think about 1992. Was that the year of the Rodney King, the LA riots? Like, like race was a big issue then. And, you know, I was led to believe by 1997, we had eradicated racism, but
we were told.
I don't think we did. So,
What?
Last I checked, no.
yeah, I don't think so. But yeah, you're right 100%, man. 4.5 so far. We got 3 4.5s, 1 4. What about you, Brooks? What you sitting on? What's your history? And I love what Joseph is saying. Cultural significance of Cabrini Green. Very gothic. Yeah. And like that's something that Bernard Rose talks about in the commentary is he goes, what is truly the haunted house in America in 1992? It's somewhere like Cabrini Green.
Mm-hmm.
That's what scares people to go to, right? And isn't there a great moment where her friend tells her, like, you get to come here and like it's just a thought for you, but for us, this is life, right? Like there's a lot of people have criticized this film because it's about a white woman kind of joining a black man's story to become the hero of it. You can look at it that way, but at the same time, I really feel like a big part of this movie is how much she feels almost phony and out of place, right? Like, and like there's a nature to this film where I think Helen is understanding that I don't know. I don't think she's trying to interject herself into a black story. I think she, through the movie, starts trying to, I think she starts understanding that she's very much out of place and starts feeling the way that the criticisms go on it,
Right.
if that makes sense.
Well, there's part of it too that's like it's a comment, I think, and I think they play with this in some of the later films on how people can benefit off the suffering of others. Oh, I'm going to write a thesis on you. I'm going to exploit your
Yeah,
art.
nice shit.
I'm going to
She
exploit
starts
your
realizing
suffering.
like the hypocrisy of that, I
Right.
think. And I think the ponytail dude is like a big part of that. Does she want to be this asshat, like pontificating at dinner, the same fucking story all the time, like a Rockin' Robbie? Or do you want to actually be somebody who's really trying to make a difference, right? I don't know.
I'm
Like
just
a
curious
Brooks.
if Brooks is even still here. We haven't heard
Brooks,
from him.
are
We
you-
can't see him.
Brooks is here. I'm sure. Brooks, what do you think about this movie? What's your history with it? What do you rate it?
Yeah, I'd never seen this movie like when I was younger. I'd seen the second one, and seeing the second one, it does affect your viewing of the first one because it gives his backstory. So like it kind of affected how I saw Candyman as a character, because I already had that sympathy kind of like baked in already. But
You're right.
I do like the character. Like, I do like the fucking the idea of the murder ghost who can just like pop out of a mirror. It's like, that old the urban legend stuff like we used to do back in the day. Like, the things that older kids would tell stupid little kids like us to make us scared. And this movie feels a lot. It feels the most like the first Hellraiser movie to me. Like it does have that kind of atmosphere about it. And like I like Tony Todd a lot as the Candyman. I think he's a great character. He's very smooth, very cool, but he's also very dangerous. Like, he kills like without thought. And like I know I love his kind of pontificating speech, He's like, he gives it this big old to do, kind of like a Pinhead would. But the setting is what I really think I love about this movie, because I've always been kind of a fan of like, the kind of graffiti style, like, like the kind of urban, like not like just, spray painting stupid symbols, but like, the kind of murals, how they would make, like sometimes like, a graffiti artist will make like a beautiful mural on the side of a building. I think that's kind of like, this movie has a lot to say about art and artists. And like, one of my favorite scenes, and it's a kind of recurring thing, is his screaming head with the open mouth that she walks through. Like
Right,
that has
so
the opening
badass.
in it. Yeah,
That's
I
like one of the creepiest things in the movie to me is that.
yeah, it's like I fucking love that. And like,
The
I love
painting
the
looks
whole-
like Debo, by the way. I don't know why.
Yeah, but like it's the whole idea of like, art, like, art, no matter how good it is, if like you do it on a building, it's graffiti. It's like this kind of idea of like, high art and low art, and kind of the way that American culture views like art from certain races as inferior or less than, while at the same time like benefiting from it and like taking part in it. But if it's like a certain kind, they can be like, that's just not real art, that's kind of trash.
You know,
I
it's
think this movie-
interesting that I'm glad you mentioned that, like, because all of these films deal with art.
Yeah,
Mhm.
because he's an artist.
They do.
That's part of
Yeah.
the thing. Like Daniel
He's an
Robichaud
artist.
was an
Anthony's
artist.
an artist in part 4. There's the art gallery in part 3. All the graffiti, all the murals. Like art's like urban art, I guess, for lack of a better term,
Yeah.
right now, like is a big theme in these movies, man.
Yeah, and they say it in like there's a line
It's
in the
dangerous
fourth
to
movie
be-
where he says they love it when we make their art, but they don't love us. It's that idea of that, the kind of appropriation of art, and like, the kind of how we disrespect the artists. We don't fucking really seem to appreciate artists in their time or even their work sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd give the first one a 4.5. I think like, just because of that style. I love the style. I think it gives that extra little pop. So
Oh, yeah.
and Tony Todd's character is great. Like I love the Candyman, like as just a kind of supernatural ghost guy figure, like a slasher killer. I think he should be more like he should be more elevated. I believe I think he's as cool as Jason or like Leatherface or any of those fucking guys.
Yeah.
So yeah, like 4.5.
Hell yeah. 4.5 from 4 of the panelists, all of us except for Jelani, who gave it a 4, for a PCP average for Candyman of a 4.4, 69 dudes. Let's go. Let's do it. That's great. All right. We eventually get a sequel in 1995. It came out on St. Paddy's Day, actually. It was directed by Bill Condon, who we will know as the director of Twilight, Breaking Dawn Part 1 and 2, as well as the director of Dreamgirls, but in particular, the Academy Award-winning writer and also the director of Gods and Monsters, the film about James Whale at the end of his life with Brendan Fraser and Ian McKellen playing James Whale. I'm a fan of Bill Condon. He had done a lot of TV movies. This was a break for him. He came in to do it. It made $13.9 million. No budget's really been listed. It seems like it's less than others. It was released in theaters. It had a story by Clive Barker. He was involved in this movie, but the screenplay was Rand Ravitch and Mark Kruger, and cinematography by Tobias A. Schleicher. And Philip Glass actually came back to do the music. A lot of it was the same music he did in the first one. They just reused it, but he did write new pieces, including a theme for Annie in this movie. So Candyman, farewell to the flesh. Let's talk about this. I watched this movie a lot when I was a kid. Just like the first Candyman, this was on constant rotation. My mom loved to use Candyman as a parenting tool for discipline amongst my younger siblings. I remember this movie coming out, and I remember liking it, but I remember feeling like it wasn't the first one, right? But I still liked it, okay? And I remember in my early 20s watching this film and being like, this movie sucks. And I was like, this movie blows, it's worthless, it sucks. That was also around the same time I watched Part 3. We'll talk about that in a minute. But on this rewatch, Candyman Farewell to the Flesh, to me, is the worst of the franchise. I'm not really a super fan of this movie. I like the idea of changing the setting to New Orleans. I like the idea that in the first 3 films, they do a different setting in each movie, right? I actually like that it's not just so much a local legend, right? And I like that it ties into the family of Candyman. He got that girl pregnant. There's descendants. We start playing with that idea here. However, the chick that plays Annie, Kelly Rowan, she was in The Gate. She's been in a couple other things, but like, I don't know. She doesn't really work for me in this movie. Timothy Carhart plays her Cajun boyfriend. If you remember, he's the villain, right? And what is it? Beverly Hills Cop 3, I think. Yeah. He's got a great death though, where basically Candyman does the Mike Myers and like lifts him up and shit like that. Like that's always a cool fucking bit right there. I don't know, man. This movie doesn't really super work for me. Veronica Cartwright, who we know from tons of fucking movies, including Alien. But she's the mom in the film. I like the idea behind the movie. It is a carbon copy. It's like blonde white chick. Candyman becomes obsessed with her. The big twist is it's his descendant. So that kind of makes sense a little bit more. I like the New Orleans setting. I actually kind of like the Cajun fat white dude who's like narrating throughout most of the fucking movie. I kind of like that bit. The music is great, but the movie, I don't know, man. It just doesn't fully work for me. Her brother, the dad situation, it feels kind of haphazard. I don't know. Honestly, with the 0.5 bump that I give Horrorfest movies, this is a 3 for me. I think it's 3 you digs. It's okay. Tony Todd's great. He kept the original coat, by the way, in the original movie, and he wound up loaning it to somebody or storing it somewhere, and he lost it.
Huge downgrade, man. In the coat.
Huge downgrade, man. Like the costume is okay. I actually think he looks better in Part 3 with that fucking like black leather jacket and shit. Like, I don't know. I think he looks great in Part 3. But Candyman Farewell to the Flesh, to me, is okay. I like that we get to see more of what happened, but all they're doing is showing us what we already knew. So it's not really adding too much different, something unique, you know? It's not doing too much of that. What it really adds uniquely is the idea of the descendants now. And he's trying to like become one with his bloodline, maybe in more ways than one. I think it's just a 3, honestly, with the Horrorfest bump. So what about you, Jelani? What do you think about the film? What do you rate it?
Yeah. Farewell to the Flesh is the first one I ever saw, like I said. I watched it in the theater with like friends when I was in high school. And we were in a play. they just wanted to go see it, and I was like, I hadn't seen the first one. And it was like, we don't care. It doesn't matter. It should be just fine. So yeah, we went to go see it, and when I saw it, I was like, it's all right. You know, I wasn't scared. It didn't bother me. You know, of course, the myth of Candyman still bothered me as a kid. You know, because you're told this younger, and you're like, you say that name in the mirror 5 times, and it comes out, and that's what scared me more than what that movie presented. That movie is weak sauce. The freaking mirror is the way to destroy him.
Yeah.
And she's
That's
like
so
basically
it's almost like in what is it? Is it Dream Master or some shit where she's like evil sees reflection and it dies?
It was very, very Freddy.
It was very Freddy. And it was so hackneyed and stupid and goofy. She
and this is the movie, right? She breaks the mirror and he turns into a mirror and shatters.
And then shatters.
That's ridiculous.
This is it. It's so cheesy, and the special effects in this are trash too. It's the lady, the main character. She's like more Michelle Pfeiffer from Dangerous Minds. She's trying to help the students get in there and had to be. I hated that. I did like I like the dynamic with the husband, but the husband go quick. You know, he wasn't gonna say Helen 5 times in the mirror. It was just he had to get got. So this is a weak movie.
Do you know that Bernard Rose wanted to do a sequel? His initial idea for Candyman 2 was following Helen as the monster. And and the studio was like, where the fuck is Candyman? He's like, Candyman's not in the movie. He's like, why is it called Candyman 2 then? Like, what the
it's
fuck?
not that. Yeah, you can't do Helen.
Should be called Helen 1.
Right. You could just call it Helen. Like Helen. That's not a scary name. But just I don't know. It's very, I would say it's very derivative. It's incredibly derivative. It just hurts that after watching the first Candyman, after seeing the second one first, it does kind of hurt it. I do like the backstory. I like the little kid look at his face with the honey, and he's like, Candyman. I love that scene. I don't know why. Like it's so fucked up. It's so wrong what they did to that man, and to show it the way they show it in this movie is kind of messed up. So I get it. You know, of course, they do the same thing in 3, but it's just.
But at least in 3, we get to see Candyman getting it on, man. You know what I'm saying, dog?
we are not. Listen, I have thoughts about 3. We're gonna talk about 3.
They're like, Candyman 1 was cool, but what if we show him die in part 2, and what if we show him fucking in part 3?
Fucking in 3.
Potentially, possibly eating pussy. I don't know what he was doing down there, but
I don't know what he's doing, but she's getting it. Yeah, with this one, I'll give this one a 2.5 actually.
All right.
It's weak sauce. It is the weakest of the movies, allegedly. Yeah, it is. This is a 2.5.
Hell yeah, 2.5, man. Basically what I think of the movie, but I give it the 3 for the Horrorfest bump.
Right.
What about you, Blood Splatter Chatter? Verno, what do you think about Farewell to the fucking Flesh, which you don't even know if you actually watched before?
No, I must have watched it because I loved Candyman, but I didn't remember it at all. And honestly, I still barely remember it. I just watched it a few days ago. This is the one that I watched first on the rewatch. I saved Candyman for today, the original. And it was a disappointing kickoff to this fucking thing. I will say, just a fun fact, get out of the way. The main character's brother in this, I'm like, who is this guy? How do I know this guy? He's Tim the Toolman Taylor's brother from Home Improvement. The whole time, like, who is he? But anyway, that's who he is. He's got a voice like he's like from the 40s or something. Just the way that he talks is like, that's not how people talk in 1990, whatever. I think I'm so glad, Robbie, that you mentioned the coat and like why the coat has changed. Because to me, I'm like, what is up with Candyman? There's two things. One is the coat, and it's just there's something off about that. He looks too normal. The other big thing is the way that Tony Todd is great in the movie, but the way that he's shot, at least there's a handful of times. Here's how you got to shoot Candyman. You either got to do an extreme angle from below. He has to be moving. He has to be talking. He's got. There's just too many times where he's just like looks like a regular dude standing there in this movie. Once I noticed that, I really paid attention for the rest of the movie.
And by the way, this is the dude who did that pimp ass fly through the fucking window in the first movie, right?
Yes.
We didn't even mention that, man.
That's part
Yeah, that was cool shit.
I love that so much. Love that so much. But no, he is. He's shot too mundanely. He looks like a normal person, like 3 or 4 times in the movie where they just linger on him and he's just standing still. It's a big miss. What I liked about the movie is what we've already mentioned. I really do appreciate that we got to see the flashbacks with Tony Todd doing it. I love when they do it later, specifically in part 4. But it's cool to see him in the flesh and get to live there in that moment. And then just the only other thing that I thought was really fucking cool and worth pointing out, there's one scene, I can't remember who does it, but someone reaches up and scratches his face and some bees come crawling out of the wounds. And I thought that was really, really, really cool.
Yeah. I just realized why there are not as many Candyman movies as there should be. Tony Todd's like, no, I'm not fucking with those bees again. Give me 5 more years.
Exactly.
Right?
Holy shit.
This poor fucking dude
out
has
of
to
the
go
mouth
through
in the
bees.
first one.
No
It's
shit.
insane.
No shit.
We'll
It is
dish
insane.
out.
The other thing I love about part 2 is it has one of my favorite horror movie sequel tropes, where you kill one of the survivors in the opening bit, right? And I love that. I love that they do that here.
Which is good.
And
too.
also, that was a really clever idea that the book slipcase is like a mirror.
Yeah, I thought so too. I thought so too. Oh, that's a fucking brilliant idea. They should have wrote like a making of and done that. And then the other thing, since we're on the topic, I'll just dish out the fun fact. He was told beforehand in part 1. I don't know if they continued in the sequels, but he was told he'd get an extra $1,000 for every bee sting that he got. And I know in the first movie that earned him an extra $27,000. So he was stung. He was stung 27 times, and then supposedly, I just have a hard time believing this, but they say it that Virginia Madsen is deathly allergic to bee stings. So she sat there through that under hypnosis with
they were
deadly
spraying
bees.
her with like queen bee pheromone and shit.
So cool, so crazy, and that Tony Todd just kept doing it. It's fucking awesome.
Meanwhile, nobody in the 4th one decided to put bees in their fucking mouth.
Yeah.
By the way,
The insurance by them were like, no, we can't swing it. We won't, not allowed.
Same bee handler in all of the first 3 films. By the way,
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. I'm right there with you, Jelani. I'm right there with you too, Robbie. But you gave it the Horrorfest bump. I'll save my bumps for the ones that deserve it. I'll save it for the 4.5s that are 5s. But I'll give it a 2.5. It was the hardest one to get through. I thought it was the most boring one, but it's still not terrible. Like it's not a bad movie. It's just like meh.
It's not bad. It's just okay.
Yeah.
2.5's right in the middle. I think that's very valid. What's up, Dr. Doom's fan club? Stu, my man, how you doing?
I'm just trying to text him, go fuck yourself. But since you addressed him, I'll just say it. Go fuck yourself, Stu.
Yeah, go fuck yourself, Stu. All right, Link, what about you, man? What do you think about Candyman Farewell to the Flesh?
Right, okay, sorry. This one, this one feels very commercialized. Definitely, it doesn't feel like it has anything to say like the first one. I feel the pros about it. I do enjoy the flashback scenes. I feel like that really kind of hits home how inhumane people can be at times. Like it's certain scenes, don't get me wrong, it's good to leave it to the imagination, but in this instance I think it was good to exemplify how inhumane people can be at times. I feel like the kills were a little bit better, just slightly. Just you got more. It was more gory, more brutal. Like when he lifts up the husband, there's more blood. He's cutting him in half as he's lifting him. There's subtle things, not much though. It really feels like a studio endeavor as opposed to where like the first one feels like it's a passion project. Someone's got something to say. They want to make this. This one feels like it. First one was a success. Let's capitalize on that, and you can feel it. The only highlight, once again, I through all of these films is Tony Todd. He does his thing. Verno made a great point about it's like the camera angles in this it feels like very made for TV. Shout out to Bill Nunn. I appreciated Bill Nunn being in this, but this one doesn't have a lot going for it. I'll give this one honestly a 2 out of 5.
Fair.
Yeah, it's very fair.
Yeah.
I was giving mine a Horrorfest buzz with 2.5.
I won't argue that.
Not at all.
At least it's got Philip Glass back for the music, you know, and it's got some cool bits. Like the kills are more visceral. There's more Candyman in the movie. But man, I don't give a shit about her main character at all. Annie,
Not at all.
I don't give a fuck, dude. I really don't.
It's not like, as far as you know, like they use the same like piece of music, but it's redone, right? There's different instrumentation. It's not like the same exact track, right? Because it just feels weaker. It's not like it's strong. Like
it's derivative.
Yeah,
it's weak. It's watered down nonsense. That's what this is.
It's the same movie. It's just his great granddaughter or whatever the fuck, right? Like, I don't know. It's like it's just kind of the same thing. I like the New Orleans setting though. I think they actually do a good job with that, and they intentionally tried to make it not so touristy looking for Mardi Gras. So they actually went to somebody who had like old floats and decorations from like 20 years before of Mardi Gras, and that's what they used for the film, which I thought was cool. It has it utilizes its location well, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
They got that radio guy too. Hey there, out there.
I like that guy. And then, dude, I'm watching this movie, even on this rewatch, I didn't remember that fucking bit, right? And when he shows up at the end, I'm like, this is a fat white dude? I was thinking like the lead singer of Fishbone or some shit, man.
Totally.
Delivering those fucking lines. Like the villain in Live and Let Die, the James Bond movie. Like I'm thinking of goddamn the villain from Princess and the Frog is telling me this shit. And this goddamn some fucking Blues Traveler fucking lead singer, man. I don't know, man. It's crazy. It's fine. 2.5. What about you, Brooks? You ever seen this one before? I think you saw this one the most when you were a kid. What do you think about it now? What do you rate it, man? What do you think?
Yeah, like I remember watching this movie, and like I remember as a kid, I thought it was all right. Like, you know, there are things I like about it. I like the New Orleans setting. Like, I think that's really cool, and I do kind of like the Cajun narrator guy, because it kind of reminds me of the HBO Spawn animated series. How they would have like Cagliostro like opening narrations.
Yeah, that was the best part of Spawn. Was like, let me tell you something about Al Simmons, y'all. Yeah.
Al Simmons is a tortured soul. But yeah, but it is a step down from the first one. Like, you know, having seen the first one now, but you know, I think the main sin of the movie is them going too deep into his backstory, because it makes him too sympathetic. I think, like when you just hear the story of, you know, what happened. Like, you know, you feel a little bit of sympathy for him, but like, you know, he's still a murder ghost. So like, you know, but when you see the thing happening, you kind of feel a little bit more for him, and it kind of takes a piss out of him a little bit, I think. But you know, I think it's they're kind of going into the horror. The horror isn't the Candyman, but like, you know, these people who can, like, you know, just commit murder and get away with it. Like, all these rich, like, you know, elites and these stupid little brats in their fucking little hats or whatever going, Candyman. And like, I didn't like that when that lady said sweets to the sweet, because I'm like, why the fuck would she say that? But
because they said that in the first film,
right?
Yeah, like the sweets to the sweet was like a graffiti on the wall, and so they had to like, oh, we have to get. It feels like they kind of they gave origin stories to things that didn't need origin stories, really.
Yeah, kind of like Star Wars Solo.
Yeah, a little bit. But yeah, so it was a pretty like on the rewatch, it felt like a pretty average movie, especially after seeing the first. So I give it a 3 overall. Not terrible. Like, it's got its moments, but you know, it doesn't quite reach the first one's level, I think.
All right, a 3 from me and Brooks for Farewell to the Flesh, a 2.5 from Verno and from Jelani, and a 2 from Link for a PCP average of 2.469. Not bad, not bad. All right. They didn't make another one of these things till 1999. Clive Barker decided, I didn't want to be a part of this. They said, we'll pay you to put your name on here. He said no. Tony Todd is on record of saying that he hates this movie and it doesn't count. It's not part of the franchise. I might have a different story. We're about to get to Candyman, Day of the Dead in just a moment after this quick break here on Horrorfest PCP Movie Night. Candyman.
Yeah, buddy.
Man, I had to pee so bad ever since right before we started talking about Candyman Part 2. That was a well-needed break, man. Really was.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Be my victim. Love that. I remember one time I think it was like last year or 2 years ago, whenever we did Candyman on your channel, I watched it. I just did a Facebook status that said, be my victim. A lot of people got offended. I was like, it's a quote from fucking Candyman.
What did they think?
The fuck? I don't know. I think they're the people are like, oh, no. All right. 1999. They do Candyman 3, Day of the Dead, directed by Turin Meyer, who did like a fucking Carrot Top movie right before this, along with his co-writer. What?
Chairman of the board?
Yeah, he did Chairman of the Board, along with his co-writer, Al Septian.
Yo, I've seen Chairman of the Board too. That's wild. That's up there with
God, there's something else that he did too, and I can't remember it right now. And he doesn't have a Wikipedia, which is crazy to me. What else did he work? He's known for doing writing on Smallville and even Buffy and Stargirl and Witches of East End. But man, there was another movie he directed.
Okay.
But I don't see it on his fucking IMDb. Anyway, he did something else. Yeah, I was getting canceled before it was cool. Yeah, whatever. All right, Candyman 3, Day of the Dead. It had a budget of $3 million. They say the director in the commentary says it's more like $1 million. But there's my copy right there. Vestron Video did a really nice edition.
Cool
Vestron
cover.
Video, by the way. Yeah, the Vestron Video, by the way, all their movies come with slip covers, right? And they're always cheap. And they always do really great stuff. And this is number 24 in the collection. Anyway,
That's cool.
I think I've only ever seen this movie one time. And I think I saw it when I worked at Hollywood Video. Delaney and I worked at Hollywood Video. We worked in an actual video store. This is how long ago it was. We worked at the video store when we had a DVD section.
Yep.
Like everything was video, but
Everything
we had
else.
a new DVD section. My first DVD player was like almost $400 fucking dollars, y'all. It was ridiculous, right? But I think this is the first and only time I've ever seen Candyman Day of the Dead. I bought this like a year or two ago just to complete the collection because Candyman to me is as iconic as Jason or Freddy or Dracula or the Wolfman, right? And when I was watching these movies, I remember telling everybody, well, yeah, I gotta watch Candyman 3 tonight. Gotta watch Candyman 3. That's the one I hear is the worst. Clive Barker refused to put his name on it. Tony Todd says this movie doesn't exist. It was direct to video, by the way. Also,
Yes,
like it was direct to video.
Hmm.
But man, I fucking like this movie. I like this movie a lot. I really do. I like this movie the way I love Hellraiser Inferno or Hellraiser Deader or Hellraiser Hellseeker. This movie is the sleazy Skinamax version of Candyman, and I am here for this shit. Once again, exact same plot as part 1 and part 2. Blonde woman gets Candyman all fucked up, right? Now he's got a cult, by the way. Now the movie's set in LA. And unlike Candyman 2, where it has its setting in New Orleans, but what is it doing with that setting? I don't know. The first movie has a lot of social commentary in it, right? Second one, maybe not so much. The third one has social commentary. It's a little bit misplaced. For instance, we got these two racist-ass cops who every scene, every fucking line is, we're racist cops. It's basically, they just show up. They should just show up and go, we're racist cops. You got big tits. I like you because you're white. Like, that's like, it's
Enter
so
the Dragon.
on the fucking nose, right? It's so badly written. It's a terrible movie, but it's the same plot. But this time it's Annie's daughter. So think about this. Candyman Farewell to the Flesh came out in 1995, set in present day. Okay. So that means this movie, which is about her daughter, is set 20 years later. This movie is set in the year 2020, y'all.
What?
Think about that. This movie takes place a year before part 4. Think about that, dude. That's fucking crazy. They had a lot of shit right, except for nobody's like, they're not all wearing masks and shit. But it moved the thing to LA, and they do try to do some social commentary. And I actually like the idea that they're trying to point out the blatant racism against Latin Americans, right? Like, and that's what they're playing with here, especially in setting it in LA. It makes sense to do that. We're dealing with the art. By the way, it's really fucking so stupid. This movie is so stupid. This movie is the worst of them all, okay? But I fucking love this movie because of how bad it is. It's the same plot, whatever. That's cool. But then you got this whole idea of this cult behind them, and that's fine. But then you've got the idea that this is Annie's daughter. What the fuck is her name in this movie?
Caroline.
She's played by
Donna D'Errico.
Erico from Baywatch.
From
Played
Baywatch.
yeah, Caroline. Doesn't ring as much. They should have picked a 2-syllable name.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so Caroline is Annie's daughter, and she's got this friend who is trying to exploit the Candyman art. They have all this art. All of that art is literally fucking photographs, man.
Right.
They're photographs in the fucking commentary. The director's like, "Oh yeah, those are photographs. We had a dude. He knew how to make them look like a painting." I'm like, "Bro, those do not look like a painting. They look like photographs," and it's so stupid. But this movie has some of the best kills. It's got some of the most Candyman of all of the movies. I think there's more Candyman in this movie than the others. And here's the thing: I love a horror movie franchise. And I know that the first one is the blueprint. Everybody follows that. None of the Dracula sequels are as good as Dracula. None of the Frankenstein sequels are as good as Frankenstein or Bride of Frankenstein, right? None of the Friday the 13th movies are as good as those first couple, right? None of, well, I would argue that.
Right. We could argue that.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, maybe Friday the 13th was a bad example, but you get what I'm trying to say. There's a point in these franchises where I don't give a fuck about quality anymore. I just want to see Candyman showing up and slaying people. And then you throw in softcore porn. Bruh, I am sold. I fucking love this movie. 3.5, you digs. It's so cheesy, so stupid, so dumb, but so sexy and gory. This is the Skinamax version, the Showtime version, the Friday After Dark version of Candyman, and I'm all here for it. And Tony Todd may have said that this movie doesn't exist, but man, I bet he didn't have many regrets about some of the scenes he was putting together in this movie. You know what I'm saying, dude? There's some hot-ass people in this movie, and they are nude. That chick with the bees that gets killed and eaten all fucking nude, she's laying on. We get a nice ass shot for a while there, man. Like from up under ass shot, man. And that's something I'm a big fan of. The Candyman 3, Day of the Dead, 3.5, you digs, because horny Robbie like Candyman Day of the Dead. What about you, Jelani? What do you think?
Dear fucking Christ. Oh yeah, by the way, that girl, she's the girlfriend in Showgirls with the dancer guy.
It sure fucking is. Holy shit, bruh. Holy
go.
shit.
You know who the guy is? The guy is...
It's the dude from Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yes.
Yep.
That's Rod. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep. So it's got that thing to it. You're right. It's got the Skinamax thing. Donna D'Errico, by the way, is still hot. Is way hotter than she should be at 57 years old. She can get it. Absolutely get it. She is the most gettable person in the entire Candyman franchise, and she's never naked in it once.
Ooh.
She's in the shower crying, and then from shot upward, and she's in a cradling position. What the fuck? That irritates the shit out of me. A lot of things make me mad about this movie. Like,
I love the idea. I feel in my headcanon, I feel like she goes, "I'll do it, but I won't do any nude scenes."
Yeah, it is. It's in the contract.
Like,
You can tell.
really?
Tell.
Yeah, like
Yeah. She's pretty damn
we've
hot.
seen 'em.
Man. Yeah, we've seen them. We've all seen them. It's just we want to see them in this movie, and it's stupid that she's not in this movie because everybody else naked. Her mama from the first movie naked, but she all covered in blood. Her next slash, but it's not the same chick because
I love it too. She's laying in the tub with her neck slashed, and they're like, "It's a suicide." I'm like, really?
I don't think she did that. I don't think you just Or where's the knife? Where's all the things that you need to kill yourself with? This is so stupid. she can still get it because the first scene in this movie is Donna DeErico getting out of bed in her underwear, and I was like, oh, it's that movie. It's immediate. Oh, okay. So I liked all the nudity and all the sexiness and all that stuff. But that being said, this movie is hot trash. This is garbage. This is worse than garbage.
It's sleazy garbage, and I love it, Jelani. I
It
just
is
laugh it up, dude.
It's something that's so bad. It's not to me, it's not the worst of the franchise. I will say that. You are right about the part where this is the most Candyman movie that we get. He's very upfront.
And this is the movie where he shows up in the subway for the first time.
Yes,
he's like gliding down the fucking. How badass is that, dude?
Pretty badass.
That's pretty fucking dope, man. And his leather fucking coat, man, dude, he looks fucking badass in this movie, man.
He's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But it's a movie.
Go ahead, Jelani. I'm sorry.
No, I mean, I see. Anyhow, I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah. So I love the bees in this movie. It still kind of looks kind of cheesy because 2 was awful for bees in certain parts, except for the skin rip. The paintings, I hated the fucking paintings. It's just, I don't know what the monster, he's in the painting now. So we've gone from the mirror that held his soul to the painting that has him. And it's just the way she does it. She just slashes the painting. And it was, that was it. What, he did a self-portrait? He painted himself?
I thought that too, yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, what? So he's been standing up here and he's still like.
In a mirror. Maybe that's where we get, that's the mirror.
And that special effect is as bad as part 2 when he dies in this movie, right?
It's so terrible. And like it's little thing. Yeah, because the flames go away. I'm like, what the fuck? The flames go away. It doesn't matter. The racist cops are funny to me. They're just caricature people. I love how they gaslight and frame. She frames that guy and be like, yeah, that's the one, that's Candyman. That's the one that did it.
Oh, the crazy cop with the hook at the end, right? Yeah.
Yeah, he's like
the other cop has the best death in the entire franchise, man.
He does.
In the fucking cop car, and he gets the
when he's coughing.
And she's stuck in the car. Oh yeah. And like I love the whole going back to 2 real quick because they're so like together. People don't believe her. But it's not as bad as the first movie where they didn't believe her and really bad consequences happened. Like at the end of going back to the second movie, her brother's dead and all. I mean, people die and it looks like she did it, but they just let that shit go in the second one. The third one, they definitely let everything go because they just give it to the racist cop. So it's weird. That movie just it I hate the music in it. Like the music is so poor. Like they're not even trying in this.
Yeah, the music is done by Adam Gorgoni. It's got like I told y'all it definitely feels like 1999, right? It's that like
it's a very 90s movie.
Like very like techno beats in there, and it uses a lot of like it's almost like Esteban shows up and starts like strumming his guitar, like they're drinking tequila and about to have sex, and he's all like, I don't know. I kind of like the music though, but they couldn't afford Philip Glass, and they were forbidden, I should say. Ooh.
They couldn't say anything about.
They couldn't do it. Yeah.
This is another thing too, which is nothing. But speaking of music, like. The fact that like Sammy Davis Jr.'s "The Candyman" song was never used that I know of in any of these films is a travesty.
Used it in 4.
I think they used it at
did they use it in 4?
The end, maybe Brooks.
Right.
In the credits?
At some point they do. Maybe the credits.
They might have there was a theme in 4. They just might not have had the budget in 2 and 3.
I can't remember. They probably could afford it. Yeah.
Bro, if they couldn't afford Philip Glass, they can't afford Sammy Davis Jr. in 1999. You know what I'm saying?
Not at all. Not even a little bit. But
in fact, they ran out of money before they even filmed the opening credits. So the director and the cinematographer went and shot that in a garage on their own with their own equipment that they could scrounge up. They ran out of money before they filmed the credit roll, bruh. Think about that, man. That's ridiculous.
Well, it's a direct-to-video movie anyway. They weren't gonna try. It's a very try-hard movie, and that's what the tits are there. And the tits are weak for me because there's no Donna D'Errico tits. That's very shameful and very wrong. So, I will say that this is still slightly better than 2. So I'm gonna give it a 2.69.
All right, 2.69. I'm going to change my rating from a 3.5 to a 3.69. It's because I rarely see the ass shot from below. You know what I'm saying? Like that's
especially from the Showgirls person you've seen naked already.
Yeah, but like you've seen Donna naked already. Like who?
Several
you know
times.
what I'm saying?
Yeah. She's hot now to where she has an OnlyFans page. She's hot now.
How much does it cost?
Just like Jamie Lee Curtis, who
doesn't have an OnlyFans?
Jamie Lee Curtis, by the way, everybody just now realizing she's got big tits.
Yeah,
are y'all
I'm like,
serious?
she's always had them.
Did y'all
True
know
lie.
she's trading places?
True lie.
Look, Halloween, the first remake Halloween, this newest set that I try to forget. In that first movie, they was jiggling, and I was like, "Bro, they under the shirt. They under this shirt. The head. She hides them.
True Lies,
She
I
hides
think,
them
should.
on purpose."
I don't
They're
think
like,
many people
she's
have seen True
old
Lies if that's like
Yeah,
the
if she did
stigma
that shit
going
in
around.
Borderlands,
You know?
I bet you that movie would have been good.
Yeah, no shit. All right.
No, Borderlands was so bad, so bad.
I've
when
never
they
watched
animated
I
it so
what's
bad.
sucky. I've never seen it yet, but like, I know I have to own it. Like I have to buy Borderlands because I have every Eli Roth movie
Oh God!
except
I'm
for
sorry.
Borderlands now. So now I have to buy that just so I continue to have every
Jesus.
Eli Roth
I feel
movie.
that.
Anyway,
Good.
Verna, what
Good.
about you? What do you think about Candyman Day of the Dead, bro?
You guys have said it. You said a lot, but I will say I thank you, Robbie, because I feel like you kind of put me in the right mindset to go into this movie. Because you mentioned when we talked the Jason Sweet Revenge thing that we just did. You guys go check that out. You mentioned that you're going to be defending this one, so I went into it with the mindset like, okay, I might be able to find some shit that I enjoy about this. And then, so I'm looking up, okay, where is this streaming? And in the process of that, I see that this has a 7% on Rotten Tomatoes. So then I'm conflicted. I'm like, Robbie's going to defend it, but this movie probably sucks. And both are, you guys are both right. It is the worst one, but I still liked it better than 2. I think it was surprisingly atmospheric. Like it felt like a Nightmare on Elm Street movie. It felt there's like a dreamlike quality throughout the whole movie. The kills
And
were
the performances are actually good, bro.
Donna D'Errico is the best screamer in all of these.
I think
He screams the best.
some of the performances are good. I think she's kind of fucking awful in the movie, but at least she's so bad it's good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what I thought. It has
the
these so
tits
bad
don't
it's good
hurt.
qualities that part 2 just doesn't have.
It feels like an episode of Masters of Horror, right?
It very much does. It
Yes.
very much does.
It does.
The kills were, I mean, you guys mentioned the kills. The kills I thought were great. The one that you mentioned with she gets like eaten by the bees, and when her boyfriend, that like double kill right there, I
That's
thought was
awesome.
pretty fucking cool. I
The
felt like the
jailhouse
first time
guy.
we see it, it comes out of nowhere. But when
Yeah.
you see where like her mom, where she thinks she committed suicide, that's super like gnarly. The blood pouring out of her neck. That's super fucking badass. It had its moments. Oh, then it had. First of all, I was also going to mention like this is like the antithesis of Scream. We're in like the post-Scream era where slashers were super soft, and they went completely in the opposite direction for this. There's no titties in Scream. Throw in 12 titties in this movie, and
Hell
all the
yeah.
gore.
Maybe like
They very much
3
sleazed it up.
They
I
didn't
thought.
do- I forgot real quick. I'm sorry.
No,
They-
good.
I forgot that the freaking murder scene of the cult, that stupid fucking stupid cult.
I hate the
That
cult.
they all died, but they died off screen. They didn't show all the real murders and shit. I was so pissed.
That
shit
was like
made
a
me so
Hellraiser
mad.
connection to me, man. I was like,
It
these
was
are
like-
some people that are in the wrong fucking movie. They should be in a Hellraiser movie.
You're cutting, and then all of a sudden it cuts away from the kill. I'm like, fuck you. I'm so mad.
They all get got though, man. They all get got.
They all get got. You
When
don't
she,
see-
I was gonna say when she talks to the fucking egg, I was like, and that's what I'm talking about. That was so bad, it's good to be. I'm like, is she? I can't. Did she say Candyman to the egg? Like, what did she say to the egg? I don't even remember. But it was like, what? What are we doing? And then the other thing, pretty much the last thing I have to say, like, I didn't even really notice. Like, oh, they're doing this like a this is like racism towards Mexican Americans, kind of playing off the idea of the first one. That didn't dawn on me because I was focused on how fucking racist the movie really was towards Latin Americans because of the grandma. The grandma is
Her name is Grandma, like Spanish for grandma, right?
abuela. She is. It's a trope in movies. It can be anybody. It could be any person of color or any character like that. And there's many of them throughout fucking cinema history where they're a magical person and they're only there to help the white characters in the movie, and they have special powers.
Like Ned's grandma in Spider-Man: Far From Home.
Exactly.
Yep.
And it's so prevalent. Go, check out Stephen King for many examples of this trope.
Oh, Green Mile, man.
Yes, everywhere.
Yeah.
The Shining. He's got 100 of them. He's got 100 of them. But I thought she was funny in the bit where she talks to the
what was it? The magical Negro.
Yeah, I've said it before, and I don't feel comfortable saying. I was glad that you did.
You better say Negro. I'll kiss your ass so fast.
Oh, my bad, man. Is that I didn't realize I wasn't supposed to say
the only
there's no
if you look it up
behind it.
If you look it up, that's the only thing that it's called. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you type that in, there's going to be a bunch of shit that comes.
But the magical black person in a movie, like Ghost,
Exactly.
Whoopi Goldberg and Ghost.
There you go. They're a dime a dozen.
Oh shit!
But I will give it. Fuck it. I'll give it a 3. I'll give it a 3 because I did enjoy it more than 2 significantly. It was more of a fucking like horror movie, and it had the so bad it's good stuff. But it's worse than 2 and better at 2 for the reasons I've said.
Yeah.
Like,
I really hope
3 needs to be in 2.
When they do a new printing of this, PCP movie night, worse than 2, but better than 2.
Yeah, exactly. We give it 2.5 titties.
What are you thinking, man?
Stupid ass kid too. I forgot about Carolina too.
I'm on the other side of the mirror with you guys. I think this movie was ass.
It had some ass in it, man. It was nice, right? That ass.
You're right.
I'll go watch.
You are right.
I'll go watch some porn if I want to see some ass or so, that much ass. But this movie just seemed I criticized the second one for seeming like it was kind of commercialized and phoned in compared to the first one. This one is commercialized and phoned in. It's got nothing to say. I think we're really reaching the most badass kill to me was the hook through the chest in the police car, and that was very tame. That especially if we're like talking about 90s and shit when it came out, like Scream had more intense shit than that. It wasn't even as graphic, but it was more exciting. And this came out after Scream. The only saving grace for this film, and it has been throughout this entire franchise, has been Tony Todd. Tony Todd was the only saving grace in this film. Everything else was you guys said I think the acting was terrible. I think this was everyone's first movie besides Tony Todd. This totally gave me Showtime Beyond vibes, but not in a good way. Like I was watching, I'm glad you brought that up because I was watching. I was like, this feels like it was totally on Showtime Beyond or like straight to Cinemax or something like that. Like this movie's bad.
Rumors are that the budget was so low, they were like, we only have a max of 2 takes for every shot. So you get it in 2.
You can tell.
Whatever.
You can feel it. The Tony Todd. Shout out to Tony Todd. That's the only thing I would highlight in this film. Everything else was ass to me. Score. I'll give this one honestly a 1.69 because of Tony Todd's a 0.69. I thought this movie was bad.
Oh, 1.69.
I don't blame him.
I'm so
if we're comparing this to the first film.
I agree.
Yes,
I mean, I get what you're saying, but I'm personally hurt. I am just personally hurt for some reason.
I was not excited after hearing you guys giving it some applause. I was not excited to deliver this blow. But I had
1.69. I love that there's a 69 there, so that's nice. So that's good. All right, I appreciate that. All right, no, I agree with you. I mean, this movie sucks. It really does. But man, I really like it for some reason. What about you, Brooks? You were on my side for Hellraiser Inferno. What do you think about Candyman Day of the Dead?
It's bad. I can't lie. Like it's bad. It's dumb. But yeah, it has its redeeming qualities. But it does feel like a very almost kind of generic '90s slasher. Like it seemed to have moved away from the more like cerebral horror of their own, making it more of a slasher kind of a little bit, which it works in a way, but like I don't know. This movie's just so dumb. Like it has eye candy in it, like Donna D'Errico. Obviously, she was a babe. She was like one of the babes when we were growing up. Like
Mhm.
she was top tier, and it's good to see her. And so
Was
I'm
she
like,
married to Nikki Six or some shit like that,
Yes,
right?
she was.
maybe, maybe like
Those goddamn Motley Crue guys get all the hot
Yeah.
chicks in the 90s.
All the hot
Yeah.
blondes with
He's a
fake
middleman.
outdated tits these days.
Yep.
They have
Yeah,
a
like-
type.
She certainly had
Yeah.
some bolt-ons. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was a bit disappointing that we didn't get at least a little bit of tits in this movie. Like, just as like, just a little extra spice to it, Not that it would have been necessary, but I think it would have elevated the movie a little
We
bit.
got tits in this movie. Are you talking about Donna's
Yeah,
tits?
Donna
Her.
D'Errico. Well, like I want to see
Donna
Donna
D'Errico's
D'Errico's tits, man.
See? See?
That's why we can't.
Like in this case, this is the one case where I'll probably be like, yeah, this movie needed those titties in it.
See?
But other than that, it's pretty mid for the most part. So I give this one a 2.5. Like it's like a little below average for me. Like not terrible. Like I'd rewatch it, but not definitely the weakest of this particular franchise.
All right.
in my
All right.
eyes.
All right. 3.69 from me. A 2.5 from Jelani.
No,
A 3
2.69.
A 2.69. My bad. A 3 from Verno.
Mm.
A 1.69 from Link. And a what? 2.5, Brooks?
Yeah, 2.5.
That's an average of 2.369.
Bam.
I feel like that's fair. That's
Better than
fair.
2.
I think so.
It's very
Yeah,
fair.
that's better.
All
It's
the shit
very
that's
fair,
going
man.
on, too.
It's very fucking fair. Let's be very honest about that. All right. Then August 27th, 2021. This movie is originally supposed to come out in 2020. We know what happened to movies in 2020. It was the COVID pandemic. And this movie got delayed a lot and eventually came out. $25 million budget. It made $77.4 million. It is directed by Nia DaCosta. And this movie was the first time that a black woman had a number one film at the box office. So that's pretty fucking cool. It's co-written by Nia, Wynn Rosenfeld, and Jordan Peele, produced by Jordan Peele and Rosenfeld as well. And a lot of people put this as Jordan Peele's Candyman. And yeah, he had a lot to do with it, but this is DaCosta's film. We also know her from The Marvels and a film called Little Woods that she made that I've heard a lot of great things about that I've not seen. That came out in 2018. But anyway, Candyman, 2021. What a novel idea. Let's make a sequel to a classic slasher film, ignore all of the sequels, and name the film the same name as the original. Sound familiar? It's part of that trope, right? So automatically, I'm kind of against this film. When this movie came out, I remember paying attention to everything about it. And I'm like, it just seemed like a remake, right? And at the time, we were just coming to terms with what the requel is, right? You know? And now we very much well know what the requel is. And it's kind of a very tired trope that hopefully we're starting to get away from. But this is a direct sequel to the original. But I do, in my headcanon, feel like this movie can work with all the movies working, right? Like, you don't have to discount 2 and 3 for this movie to make sense, okay? You don't. However, when I first watched this movie, and I remember the lead up to it, and I remember hearing Tony Todd say, this is a sequel to the original Candyman movie. I was more excited to watch it. I watched it when I first saw it. I thought it was okay. I felt like the movie was half-baked, right? I felt like the movie needed 15 to 20 more minutes to fully cook all of the ideas that it was trying to present. And I hadn't seen the movie since then. So I was very excited to dive back into this film and recontextualize it in my head, right? But I kind of have the same idea about the 2021 Candyman. First of all, the cast is amazing. We got Yahya Abdul-Mateen, right? Dr. Manhattan, Black Manta. We got
Wonder Man,
Tiona Paris,
Tiana,
Captain Marvel, Monica Rambeau,
Yeah.
right?
And
And-
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
No, she was in that movie with it was kind of a sleeper hit to me for a Netflix film, but it was like John Boyega, Who Cloned Tyrone. She was pretty badass in that film.
Okay.
I think
I haven't seen that.
She's really good.
Based on the Erykah Badu song, Clone Tyrone. Anyway, so we also got Coleman Domenico, who plays the laundromat owner, who is basically the villain of the film, and he's pretty good. So there's a great cast here, and I love. First, let me just start with what I love about the film. I love the music in the movie. I really, really fucking do. The music is done by Robert Ike Aubrey Lowe. Don't really know much about what he does, but the music is fucking great in this movie. Like, I love it. It has allusions to the original Philip Glass stuff, but it's like kind of in there. But I really like the music, and it has its own identity. I really like that. I like the performances. I like the cinematography a lot. I love the idea of how we're showing Candyman, how we don't see Candyman except for in reflection. I love the use of mirror. I love the use of art. I love the main character and his journey, and I love the idea that our main character is Anthony, the baby from the first movie. I love that his mom is in this movie, and she's a vampire, Verno. She looks great, dude. She looks exactly like so good.
What? How do you do that?
Nothing
What?
changed.
What?
She looks so good.
I had to look that up because I was like, is that the same chick? There's no way. There's no way. And talk about vampires.
They de-aged her, but like clearly they didn't. Like, it's so weird.
No. Yeah, the only person
Black
de-aging in
don't
this movie
crack,
is
baby.
Tony Todd. Man.
Right.
Tony Todd has a little bit of de-aging when he shows up at the very tail end. Because here's, before I get into what I don't like, let me talk about something I do like, which is what it's trying to deal with thematically, right? So first of all, and I'm not the best person to speak on this, okay? Obviously. But there are a lot of interpretations of the Candyman movies where it's about the importance of a white person in this story that should be a Black-centric story. And now we have Black creators doing a Candyman movie. And a big part of this theme is, I think, recontextualizing Candyman as a plague on Black and people of color communities, right? Which is the previous three films. That's what's going on, right? He's preying on the minorities, right? And this one, it's like taking the Candyman idea, recontextualizing it as a supernatural legend of power in a way to protect Black communities, right? And tying that in with all of the deaths of Black people, in particular Black men, by police over decades and decades. And that leads to one of the things I don't like about this movie is the idea that there are multiple Candymen, right? But I understand the idea behind that, like this injustice that's totally okay with society perpetrated against the Black man. That's definitely part of the Candyman story. And referencing that with everything going on throughout those same fucking decades, like from since then till now, shit's still happening. I like how they're trying to play with that, but I also don't like how it's like almost putting. It's almost like putting. Well, I'm sorry. What's that, Jelani?
It's message in your face.
It's message in your face, but it's just like it's. I don't mind that, but it doesn't fully bake that idea for me, right? It's still kind of confusing to me. Like, I can understand it. There are multiple people that are Candyman because it's the same legend that comes out. I get it, but I don't feel like this movie is fully baked. I feel like its themes and its messaging and its characterization needs a little bit more time to cook. And I rarely say a movie needs more time, but this movie needed more time. This is a very lean, an hour and a half. But when you watch this movie, doesn't it all of a sudden you're like, wait, it's ending? It's ending all of a sudden?
It's like an hour 26.
It definitely seemed like they sprinted towards the end. Like it's like it's coasting for most of the movie.
There's so much stuff left dangling, like Chicks, her trauma over her dad killing himself. What does that have to do with the movie? Unless they get more into it. You know what I'm saying? And we just don't. And like, as much as I love the scene with all the girls in the bathroom saying Candyman, that sticks the fuck out.
Right.
Why is that there? Why are we not developing more of this theme, this idea, and this descent into madness from our main character, Anthony? By the way, why is his woman not telling him to get to the fucking hospital, dude? This beast thing turning you into a beast thing. Like, what the fuck is going on there?
There's a problem. You have an allergic reaction.
Like, one of the themes is like, you know, like the world wanting to dabble in Black culture, but not wanting to deal with the ramifications that come with that. And I think that scene was the movie was a little bit more in your face than the first one, but I think it was trying to iron home but like, look at these suburban white privileged girls dabbling in Black urban folklore, you know, and not prepared for the ramifications.
And make her a character, right? Like, make
no,
her like,
that was.
I just think the movie needs more time, right? I mean, I think that's the only problem. I don't have a problem with the messaging or how in your face it is. People have said it's in your face. I think it's there, but they're literally talking about art that is about this.
I think the first one was pretty in your face. It's us that's changed. Society is changing. How sensitive everyone is to. It's a little more in your face, but it was always there. It was always that story.
I'm glad you brought that up, Verno, because when I was talking about the parallels between this one and the first one earlier, I mentioned that I was speaking like they're essentially the same movie. But Verno, you made a great point. Like it's the audience that's changed. Like, you know, back nowadays, people have seen so like this was my first time watching this, but I remember hearing a lot of people saying this kind of woke and this and that. You know, I didn't mind it when I watched it, but when I watched it, it's like, okay, so it's like essentially the same movie, but it's like just people's perspectives have changed. Like when it first came out, this was a taboo topic pretty much, like not something people really discussed too much. People knew about it, but it wasn't talked about abroad publicly. Like nowadays, everybody talks about everything publicly. So it's like, it seems a little bit more in your face. But if this movie would have came out in the 90s, I think it would have received more acclaim, if not more than the first one.
People are more defensive about it these days. I think in 1992, everybody's like, it was there was plenty, you know what I mean? There was plenty like talking about racism and films about it, but there's more people like, whoa, hey, you talking about me? Kind of thing. Like there's more of like a defensive-ness in the world.
Like, I don't mind that in this film. I actually love the idea of the whole, you know, like post George Floyd and all that shit, right? Say his name was a common thing to say. Well, that's a tagline in Candyman. Say his name. Candyman is a result of injustice by white society on a Black man, right? Where they literally go out in a mob and kill this dude for no fucking good reason, right? And so that parallel is there. I just don't think it fully cooks it in the idea, because now we're dealing with multiple Candyman, and most of like the Candyman in this movie is the dude who's giving out candy, who gets mistaken for the guy who's putting razor blades in candy, who also happens to have a hook for a hand. It just kind of confuses and muddies the legend and the core of Candyman. I think there's a way to like bake this idea better. I think if this movie had 15, 20 more minutes, I think it could really work. As it stands, though, I like the film, but it just all of a sudden ends. This is a third act that comes out of fucking nowhere. And it's left you just kind of like, what? Even when the cops kill Anthony, it's kind of off camera. It doesn't make sense with the way things are laid out. It feels very rushed at the end of this film. So for me, I'm going to give this, with the Horrorfest bump, a 3.5. You digs. What about you, Jelani? What do you think about Candyman 2021?
I don't know. This movie is. It needed more time, but at the same time, it's too on the nose. Like, and of course, and I always like to preamble this: fuck, fuckity, fuck the police. Y'all ain't shit. Y'all ain't never gonna be shit. Come at me, bro. I hope they find all the recordings where I say that. They are shit, and the third act is kind of it is. That being said, this third act is tacked on. It feels just weird that it happened so quickly, and then just how Tony Todd is introduced at the end of it. I kind of like that, but at the same time, I don't. It's weird.
Yeah.
I like Yahya Abdul-Mateen. He's great descent into madness, but I don't know. That also needed more time. Definitely take him to the hospital. If your hand's fucked up like that, please go to the hospital. Do something with that soon. Why are we just? And no one is saying anything. It's very weak. I can feel it's got the same vibe of 2 and 3, to be honest, for me. It just, I don't know. It just feels like you get the lore and things like that. I do like the puppet shows.
Yeah. So yeah,
I do. Yeah. I love the.
Those
credit.
are done practically, by the way.
They're done beautifully.
They're done with like different materials like put together and shit. Yeah.
Did you guys notice at the end how they do like everybody?
All the other Candyman.
Yeah. It's so
all
cool.
The other
I love
Candyman
that.
go into that. I do kind of like the scene with the girls in the bathroom. I do like that because they should have been a part of the film. They don't. Right. I don't know what it was, but if you're gonna add something like that, you need to make me care a little bit about someone else other than Yahya Abdul-Mateen. I don't know why. I think like that one of the girls should have been the friend of friends with the couple. Other than the other couple, which
and also, why do they call the biggest douchebag in the movie Clive? Like, shouldn't it be like a better character named Clive?
Is it the art dealer that's Clive?
Yeah,
that's a great point.
And by the way, he dies like Miguel, so it's still kind of the same setup, Miguel from 3. So they put that.
There's a lot of 3 in this movie. Even the idea of the murders in the cop car. Right.
Yeah, that helped me appreciate 3 a little bit more because like, I see where the remake got a lot of this art stuff.
It's a lot of influence by 3 because 3 could have been great, but it is what it is. And you don't have there's not a white savior in this movie. Like I said, it's too on the nose. Like you need the pretty blonde lady in the movie, at least in some form. I'm serious. You gotta have it. Because that's what Candyman is that's his kryptonite, apparently. And it's not just the fact it's generational. And I don't know if that's because Tony Todd was getting older and he just couldn't, he was sick at the time probably, and he couldn't pull off the stature of what they needed for the role. So I kind of understand why they would
Candyman. I bet he would have done it, man. I think at the time they were trying. He was not turning down roles at this time, so I think they were intentionally trying to do something different.
Yeah, they were trying to do something different with it, but I think that holding him off until the end is weak sauce.
Well, the big problem with these kind of films is that they always try to market them as not a sequel. Right,
but they are.
They don't embrace the sequel nature of it, and I think that's the big problem with some of these films, like Halloween and this one, and there are many others that I'm forgetting right now.
Yeah, it's a lot of work, and the fact that they're doing it so poorly, it's just I don't know. I feel some kind of way about this movie, especially the end when the cops like gaslighting her. You're like, well, we came in and he was acting like a black, so we had to shoot him. And then it's either that or we say that you was an accomplice and you was black too. You know, and I just hate it. I mean, I wanted them to die, but hell, be there a whole movie before this happens. Be the racist cops in 3 before this happens. You know, I don't know. It just, you didn't do that. And it's too on the nose. I just keep saying that, man. This movie, I hate to say this, movie too woke. I hate how woke this movie is with the wokeness. I don't know. It's not good. I don't, and it's the first time I've seen it. I maybe need to watch it again. There are good parts in it, but it's just not good. So I'm gonna get. It's not worse than 2. So I guess, I mean, it's a 2.5. I may watch it again, maybe. 2.
Damn.
Look,
all right, 2.5. No, I can dig that, man.
Every time I watch it, I feel because I did watch this the second time. I do like, because I wanted to be like okay with it, and then I forgot about it. That's how bad. I mean, it's too much. I don't know. I gotta watch it a third time. I'll watch it a third time.
Do it.
All right. 2.5 from Jelani. What about you, Verno?
First, I'll say I agree with everything, all the criticisms, and Robbie, I've always had an issue with, like, it's two Candyman, 3 Candyman, like it's like watching The Flash and there's like 50 speedsters in it. You know, like it waters it down, and it's a little more confusing, especially the first watch. I was like, by the end of it, I'm like, oh, I didn't quite get it. But having said that, I love this movie. I think this movie is super badass. It's more engaging, but then 2 and fucking 3. I mean, come on, brother. Like Anthony, just that character himself, I will take Anthony over Helen. Like just like someone that I'm like, I'm into his story. I love the chick from the MCU whose name you guys know. I forget her name, but I think the acting, her gay brother, and he's so good. It's got funny. It's shot so fucking.
It's got those typical Jordan Peele moments too, right? Where it's just like, nope, nope. Like, right. You want to hear a scary story? No, no, I don't.
when he's dimming the lights, I love that. This better be good. I think it's the fucking kills in it are awesome. They are super cool. They're one of the most creative and like different, unique kind of kills ever. Is the Skyrise pull out, and the art critic gets got, and just like the stuff
Best
before
that,
movie, the whole build up to that, with Sherman in the elevator, and then in the mirror, and he's doing all this shit. Like, I mean, I'm so into that shit.
I want to see more of Anthony's descent into madness,
for sure.
Man.
I agree.
Because all of a sudden he's just like, it's like over, and he's just Candyman all of a sudden.
I've kind of always felt a little bit like that with the first one. I always feel like there's something missing in the first one. It just goes from, oh, I'm on the run, I'm being framed, to I'm dying, and there was always something a little bit off for me. I think part of the thing with it is Jelani and Link. I agree. It is like a little bit more on the nose for sure. But I think the thing that makes it like more annoying to certain people is that it's more current. You're talking like it's so fucking current. You're talking about police brutality right here. So there's no like distance from it. Like, oh, before it was just a metaphor for racism almost. And now it's talking about current events, which is going to be harder to.
The first one dealt with current events, but it was more like white America could watch that movie and go, yeah, man, gangs are a problem.
Right.
You know? Right.
Intro, I don't know if you're still in here, but I respect the disagreement earlier, but from a long time ago at the beginning of this, I said like part of what's going on in 1 is Helen, to some degree, is profiting off the suffering of the people in the hood. Not profiting, but she's writing her thesis based on that. So she's kind of, you could say, she's choosing them. And I think Anthony...
She wasn't doing it... Oh, sorry.
Well, I mean, Anthony, in the same way, or other characters in this are... The art scene in this is kind of doing the same thing, where they are like, oh, hey, the South Side's played out, but you've got black people suffering over here. Well, we could use that. Like they are, they are specifically profiting off the suffering. But then even just the way that Helen was in a more like subtle way, so is Anthony. Anthony's doesn't live in the ghetto. He lives in this fancy skyrise, and he's still kind of like, oh, maybe I'll travel down to the ghetto for a day and check it out and profit off it that way.
the difference is he comes from that
it, for sure.
environment, whereas Helen doesn't come from that environment.
For
You
sure.
know, like
For sure.
You know.
No, and that's spot on. The mirrors thing, the reason why I think, and people might be upset with me for this, I feel like the bathroom bit, which we get to kill in the mirror, that's so fucking cool. I feel like it's there just to be like, hey, we gotta kill some white people in this movie. We gotta kill some more mean white people.
You're not lying.
that
It's
are
all the white people because the
bullying the black
the
girl.
black girl is like hides in the stall. The Asian girl is like nah, I'm done.
outta here.
Just leave.
That's what it is.
It's only
And
the white women.
There's a bit of like.
Let me ask a question. What felt more unnecessary, this scene or the mow down scene in Sinners?
I
haven't seen Sinners. Man.
There's a lot of white people killed in
the mow
Sinners
down at
too,
the
and
end?
it's the exact same thing. Like,
Yeah,
it's the exact same thing for sure. This felt more out of place though, because this is literally it feels so like, oh, let's just go over this other
This
thing that's
character's-
happening. It has
and,
nothing to
like,
do with it.
They shove her in that one bit where she's looking at the art exhibit, and then like the next time you see her is that like it's just like at least they try to connect it to something, but like she should have been more of a threat in the movie.
Right.
I think. I don't know.
Yes,
it was really.
that's what
I
I'm
think.
saying.
I mean, it might have been
needs to be
too on the
there.
nose, but it was really trying to exemplify about someone taking something from Black culture and like, oh, that's so cool, not knowing that sometimes something that they think is cool comes
Then
with
develop that,
certain
man. She's like
consequences or
friends with
ramifications.
she's friends with Anthony's girlfriend, right? And she's like
Wasn't
always
there-
trying to like be like an activist, like Black Lives Matter and all that shit, but she's all phony about it or something, right? Like
Mhm.
play that up, right?
Right.
Like
Yeah.
she's just
You
doing the
try.
hashtags and shit like
Yeah.
that. Like play it up, and I think that would work. And then I'm rooting for those fucking bitches to die. You know what I'm saying?
It wasn't enough.
Last thing that I have to say on is another thing that like could have said about part one. That's just cool. They show the two different like sides of the tracks. Really, like they've got the people in the art scene, kind of the same thing as the people in the university from the first one. I felt like this one could have used
Yeah.
a little more hood. Like he goes to the hood and we get the laundromat guy. And maybe I'm not remembering enough, but I feel like we could have used a little bit more like that side of it.
Another problem I have with this movie is this dude all of a sudden becomes Skeletor. Like out of
Yeah, at the
nowhere.
very end.
And he's like,
Yeah,
I did this to resurrect
yeah.
Candyman.
Oh
And he's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
That's what I
He's
hated too.
His
Like,
hands
where
are
you
all
come from?
shaking while he's talking.
Yeah.
But I kind of love it at the same time. Like I really like the performance. It's over the top. He's a scream villain at the end.
Yep.
But I still kind of I've grown to love it. I didn't like it at first. I watched this movie a lot. So I will end this by saying I gave Candyman 1 a 4.5. I was honestly last night I was like, fuck it, I'll give this the same. But I won't. I'll give it a 4.069 because I think it's great. I think it's super rewatchable, and it's the best shot, even better than the original Candyman. I think it's amazing looking movie with great kills and it's saying something and all that good shit.
all right, at 4.069, Jelena, you gave it a what, a 2.5?
2.5.
And I did 3. What about you, Link? What do you think? What are you sitting on? What do you rate it?
I actually really like this film. Like I really do beg the question of like if this film, I wonder how it would have been received had this exact film been released in '92. Like, you know, it's easy, you know, the same way it's easy to criticize for people to criticize Candyman 1 because it doesn't hold up. It's kind of tame compared to like horror movies. It did its thing for its time. Like maybe this movie is like, I don't know, it is too on the nose in a way, but I think it is a very solid movie. Probably the strongest cast we've had since definitely the strongest cast we've had if to compared to 1.
I would argue that 3 has a
well
really good
shot,
cast, but
it's very debatable. I like the, you know, it is thematically it's trying to say something just because I think like the climate, the social climate is a little too hot for the movie, but like maybe had this movie been released 10 years ago, like I wonder how the reception would have been. Like the whole it's woke bullshit rhetoric that kind of lingers around this. My only gripe with this is it does seem like it's got a lot of cool things going on it throughout it, and it just seems like it really rushes towards the end. Like I did have to rewind with the whole like Coleman Domingo bit, like where it's like when did he become? He just kidnaps her in the laundry mat just out of nowhere. Like there's no switch. Like our main character kind of just disappears after a while, and we just see him kind of tied up, and he's turned into Candyman. I don't know. I feel you, Robbie. I feel like 10 to 15 minutes more of this movie would have really helped it develop. But beyond that, I think I agree with Verno. Everything else is on the money. I just feel like the ending was very rushed. But I'm curious to know if there's like deleted scenes that kind of would have helped fill in the gaps. But beyond that, I like the idea of it kind of. I get the whole. We could have used more Tony Todd, but I like the idea. They're trying. It's like Tony Todd, obviously, rest in peace. He's not here anymore. So it's like I feel like they're trying to find a way to evolve the idea of Candyman in the franchise. If since he was getting older, maybe they didn't know he was sick at the time. But it's like, what can Candyman be beyond of what Tony Todd? Like spiritually, they're all Tony Todd. Like that's but
they even did that in the first one. Like with Helen, they introduced that idea like of this is a concept, thing that can be passed on. Not everyone, it doesn't have to be Candyman or Robotech.
And I like the idea that I feel like it's for
I want a white girl.
I like the idea that it picks up for like he's the baby from the first one. I think that's a stronger pickup point than Candyman's obsession with his descendants for some reason.
But here's the thing, man.
Kind of veer into.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but like, here's the thing: if he is the kid, right, and he's the kid from the first one, then Tony Todd's Candyman is very important to that story, I think.
Right.
Because that means he was chosen. His mom even says he chose you for something or something, right? Right? Like,
and then make all these multiple Candymen. That's the weird part.
I mean, the whole point is for Candyman to incarnate back again through this guy, right? So why not just use fucking Tony Todd? Jesus, like I get
I think the idea. I mean, they could have done it better, but I think the idea was that they're all, like I said, they're all Tony Todd. Like the homeless dude with the one hand that was giving out candy that got killed. He was Candyman, but he was being possessed essentially by Tony Todd or whatever.
Yeah, because part of
maybe they merged spiritually.
Yeah, the big journey in all these movies for Candyman, the character is trying to get people to believe him again. In all these movies, they're trying to get people not to believe in him, right? Helen disproves his existence, right? By showing that Candyman's actually this other guy. So it's been baked into the franchise from the very beginning,
right?
That Candyman is a repeated motif.
Even the idea, like in the first one, we've got like I feel like there's like the gangsters are using the Candyman legend to scare people, and like I'm Candyman, bitch. So like that idea is.
My mom said that to me one time. I swear to God.
Wake up, I'm Candyman, bitch. Do the dishes.
But the ending does suck. I'm a big proponent of like endings are crucial. It can either fucking put a dent, stay in the series that's been great up to that point, or it can salvage a series that's been meh. So the ending definitely does hurt it. So that being said, I'll give it a solid 3.75. I feel like there's definitely something there. There's ideas there. There's potential. Love the performances. Love the look. But that ending, it just feels so rushed. Like, I had to rewind it when I was like, oh, why did they shoot him? He's on the ground. Like, I get it, but it's like it felt a little extra, or like
forced. Felt forced.
It just, I don't know. Forced. Yes. Yeah. So yeah, that is my only gripe with the movie is the ending.
All right, 3.75 from Link. What about you, Brooks? What do you think about Candyman 2021?
I actually ended up liking this movie a lot more than I thought I was going to. Like, I thought it was a pretty good movie. Like, I get what you're saying. Like, it does feel like it needs a little extra to it. Like, it feels like they're trying to go too many different ways a bit sometimes. Like, it feels like they could either cut some shit back or add some more shit in. I think they could have added a little more in personally, because I think they had a good idea with it. And yeah, and I like the ideas that they're playing with, like different thematic ideas, like the idea of the swarm being like the cops, like the scene where it shows the flashback of him as a young man, and then the cops, when the guy walks out of the hole in the wall, and then as he's walking out, the cops like swarming there, like the idea that the cops are the swarm, and it's still playing with the same ideas as the first movie, but they're like, more modern day, and the characters are more modern day too. Like, and it's like the art scene in this movie is way different than it would have been in the first movie. Like in the original movie, like the characters in this movie would have been like taggers or something, graffiti artists. But in this movie, they're like fancy boy artists, putting on exhibits and doing these like elaborate pieces and things. So yeah, it's this idea that things are different, but like at the same time they're not different. Like everything's still the same, and it's like the idea, like I think the bee sting thing that you mentioned, like I think that part of that's kind of like a kind of a theme too, and that the idea of like you ignore a problem and you just like expect it to go away and then it doesn't, but you keep ignoring it. Like we ignore problems, like all kinds of problems in our society, like injustice and things like this, and we got so accustomed to looking away that now that like that there's a light shining on some of these injustices, like people get all like up in arms because they're so used to looking the other way, to not thinking about it. But we can't not think about it anymore because the light's been shown on it. You can't just shove it back into the box. So yeah, I think this movie said a lot. Like I like the new Candyman because like he has a very creepy presence. But I like that they tied it back into Robitaille because he is like he is the Candyman. I like the idea that that Candyman there keep being new Candyman because it keeps happening. The same thing that happened to Robitaille just keeps happening over and over again, and new people are becoming the Candyman, and the myth like just keeps going on, like because it's easy to believe in something when it's happening, when you have physical evidence of it, So like I like the ideas of this movie, but I do feel I agree that it feels a little bit rushed at times. Like it feels like it could have used a little bit more. And considering how long they make every fucking movie these days, it wouldn't have been like seen as out of sorts. So yeah, overall, I think I'd give this one a 4. Not quite as good as the original, but I think it's interesting. Like I really enjoyed watching it, and I was kind of surprised because a lot of times these remakes they're not good.
Yeah. All right, a 4 from Brooks, a 3 from me, a 2.5 from Jelani, a 4.069 from Verno, and a 3.75 from Link. That is a PCP average of 3.469.
Bruh.
Yeah, pretty nice. I like how every average rating ended in a 69. That was random, but very cool. So it seems like our rating is this. If we had to put together a PCP official rating between the four of us, ranking the films from worst to best, we would go part 2, part 3, part 4, part 1.
I feel like I feel like
I have love like for 3, so it raises
I think
it
2 and
above
3 are
2.
interchangeable. Yeah. Really.
I do. I mean,
I agree with
like the best.
2 and 3 are weird.
You're saying best.
I think part 2 had the lowest average PCP rating, man. I think. Man.
That would be my rating. 1's the best, the newest one, and then 3, and then 2. That's where
I would honestly go 1. I would go 1, 3, 4, 2.
Wow.
What about you, Jelani? What's the rating?
1, 4, 2, 3.
I would do 1, 3, 4, 2 as well. Cause like I don't know. I just
Verno, you agree with 1, 3, 4, 2?
No, I love 4, man. I think 4 is like an amazing
1,
movie,
4,
dude.
3, 2.
Yeah.
Link?
Mine is 1, 4, 2, 3.
3.
Brooks?
Yeah, I'm also 1, 4, 2, 3.
Some interesting thoughts on some of these sequels. All right. All right. Thus concludes our look at the Candyman franchise, y'all. Hell yeah, dude. Think about it, man. We covered 4 Candyman movies in 2 hours and 10 minutes, and we covered 12 Friday the 13th movies in 3 hours. So I think we're getting
we're getting the hang of it.
I think if you redid that Friday one, we get it down in an hour and a half. We'd be in and out.
Yeah, probably. Or it'd be longer. I don't know. I would actually probably split that one into 2 at this point. All right. PCP Movie Night continues next week. Continuing Horrorfest. with The Hunger.
Ooh.
Tony Scott, David Bowie, Susan Sarandon, and what's her name? Guinevere. Jelani, what's her name? Guinevere. The French chick in Hunger.
Catherine. Oh wait,
Catherine Deneuve. My bad.
Catherine Deneuve.
It's not Guinevere. Nothing. Anyway.
That's why I was like, why are you throwing me off?
I'm very confused. Anyway, The Hunger next week. Vampires here, provided by Tony Scott, David Bowie, Susan Sarandon, and Guinevere Catherine Deneuve. And then also this week for Horrorfest, we got Dylan. He might be live now. I don't know when this show airs. It's either tonight or tomorrow. I don't know, but he's talking about weapons.
Damn.
For his kickoff of Horrorfest.
People are talking about it. People
very
like
cool,
it.
Very cool movie. And we got another one coming up. And oh shit, Jelani, I didn't download your thumbnails yet. So I'm going to throw it to Verno. Tell us about your entry into Horrorfest and continuing your road to Halloween.
Muchos gracias, mi amigo. Yeah, man. This is obviously the kickoff to Horrorfest, Texas Chainsaw motherfucking Massacre. Super excited about it. Be with Link and Stu. This is Stu's first time seeing it, which is always exciting. And thank you for mentioning. This is also, we got 2 weeks left of our Road to Halloween series, going back, talking about the slashers, proto slashers, and giallo films that help pave the path to John Carpenter's Halloween. It's been awesome. It's been very enjoyable, man. Looking at like the evolution of the slasher, and we'll see where this one fits in the mix.
Hell yeah. Sounds great, man. What about you, Jelani? Thank you for joining us. Final thoughts. What you got coming up?
Yeah, thanks for having me. Candyman was a weird one, man. This is a crazy franchise. I didn't think I would enjoy the other ones, and I mean I did in some fashion. So, there's that. One is still the best to me. So, that being said, what also I love to do with my friend Brooks there is we do Go Figure reviews, and we this week we did a few things, but these two popped up first. This is the Masters of the Universe Origins of Fright Zone. This is a remake of the original, which in my personal opinion, might be a little better than the original.
Oh, it's totally better than the original, bro.
It is the best. It is awesome, and for what it is, it's pretty cool. I got issues with the price. We will talk about it in that video. Please check that out. And we also did Turtles of Grayskull exclusive, a Skella Shredder. This is a Mattel Creations deal where they mix Skeletor and Shredder. And then, of course, next week we're gonna do the other Skeletor possessed figure. We'll talk about a whole bunch of other stuff, but those two are our videos. So thanks. Check us out. We just did a giveaway. We're going to do more giveaways in the future, more house tours as soon as I can get somebody who wants to show their house off, things and stuff like that. Watch us Go Figure reviews. Thank you.
He just reminded, would you mind blowing me up for just a second? Just a second. Bam. You just reminded me, we're going to be giving stuff away too. I don't know exactly when, but I'm cooking up another like 5 of these right now that I want to give away through Horrorfest. If we got a great turnout over on Blood Splatter Chatter Thursday night, 8:00, be there, be square, Central Time. If there's a bunch of people there, I'll give one away then. And it might just be for nothing. It might just be for saying something in the comments because I got a bunch of them. I make them, and I'm gonna give a bunch of them away. So come hang out with us, man. I want to see you guys on Thursdays.
You know what I don't have right now, Verno? A Jason mask with the fucking notch chopped into it. I don't have one of those, man.
You should.
So what do I need to do? How much?
You should have won that trivia when
I should have, but I fucking forgot about Jaws for some fucking reason.
By the way, you just like Robbie, I'm gonna send you a part 3 mask at one point because that's the trophy. You won part 3 trivia. And I'm gonna do that, but I don't know. I mean, maybe if you really want it, be there in the chat, and maybe you could win one during Horrorfest.
Son of a bitch! All right, you got to be there in the chat, y'all. Let's do it, man. Just tell me how much. Anyway, Link, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you joining us, man, and filling out the panel tonight. I know I reached out last week, say, hey, man, I got room, man. I think we need 5 people here to talk about this franchise and do it justice. And I knew that you would do it justice, and you did. So, final thoughts, what you got coming up, man? Where are you going to be?
Yeah, I'll be this Thursday. Blood Splatter Chatter, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Road to Halloween, Horrorfest 2025. And to look on the bright side, Robbie. You know what I don't have? I don't have a Jason Mask. Period. So at least you got one. I'm still trying to earn my valor, and I gotta win a trivia one day.
This next
one
one, next Friday the
But
13th.
no, yeah.
I have faith. You can do it. You're gonna win one.
I love that. I think I got the only Part 5 mask Verno's
I
ever
was too
done.
close.
You do. You do. I'm gonna make. I don't even think it was that good one. I can't make a picture. I'm gonna make a way better one next.
Hell yeah, man. All right, Brooks, final thoughts, man. Thank you for being here. Even though we can't see your pretty face.
Yeah, I know. I'm stuck in the mirror dimension for now, but like hopefully I'll find my way out by next week. But who knows? Who knows? Like maybe I kind of like it here. It's a little peaceful.
I kind of like it, dude. I don't know why.
Yeah. Like Daniel
Well, we at least
Robitaille's
got to get him
over
to
there.
download an
Hayden?
avatar.
Yeah, I should make a little cartoon version of myself or something. But yeah, I was like, this is a surprisingly solid franchise, which I did not expect. I figured there was going to be like at least one really bad one, and 3 is the closest it comes to it. But even that's not like terrible. Like, especially when you consider like franchises like Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
I was about to be like
Hellraiser.
TCM. I think Brooks almost quit PCP after doing Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
I think that franchise gave me a fucking ulcer, man.
Man.
It was terrible.
Yeah, this one was good though. So
Yeah, it was good. All right, y'all. Join us for the rest of Horrorfest. We got Weapons tomorrow night on Dylan's Horror Show. Very cool movie. Thursday night on the road to Halloween in the midst of Horrorfest, Texas Chainsaw Massacre on Blood Splatter Chatter. Check out the Fright Zone. Check out the Skella Shredder over at Go Figure Reviews. Be back here next week for the hunger for PCP Horrorfest. Y'all, we love you. We're dipping out. On behalf of everybody, Station, Be My Victim, Pop, Pop, Boo.